from Celtic Park in what is a very untypical European night of football for Celtic. It's the second leg of the UEFA Cup preliminary tie. Celtic leading by 3-0 from the first leg against Inter CableTel, and we'll have a look at the teams just to see how they shape up. And for Celtic, Gordon Marshall in goals, Tommy Boyd, Tosh McKinley, Jackie McNamara, Alan Stubbs, Darren Jackson making his European debut, Andreas Tom, Tommy Johnson, Simon Donnelly, David Hanna and Stuart Gray. Substitutes Mackay, Anoni, Hay, McCondy, Elliott and McBride. And running through the team for Inter CableTel, Ellicott, Hewitt, Rickard, David, Philpott, Davies, Wharton, Burrows, Haig, Gibbon and Williams. As the match gets underway, and Hewitt going down the left-hand side, trying to start off the first initial attack. I'm delighted to see Charlie Nicholas joining us. Charlie, it's very much a foregone conclusion, or is it just maybe tempting fate at this early stage?
No, I think it's a strong apart for Celtic tonight. I'm looking forward to a few goals and a few good passing movements. My first chance to see Celtic under Wim Janssen. So it'll be interesting to see the pattern of play. I mean, it looks as if, you know, they've started with Hanna at the back alongside Boyd and Stubbs, so it's an interesting start, and I'll be interested to watch how Celtic are going to click tonight.
Interestingly enough, Charlie, speaking to George Woods, he pointed out that the best hope they can do is a damage limitation in this match tonight. He's been fairly honest about their chances. Well,
I don't think there's any doubt about that. It wasn't a surprise that Celtic weren't comfortable away from home. I don't think it was a great performance from Celtic by what I read, but they'll be looking to put on a decent show tonight. I mean, this crowd, we're used to 50,000 here. There's about 20, 25,000 maybe at the most. So Celtic got to put on a good show tonight.
And straight away, Stuart Gray starting the attack for Celtic. Andreas Tom moving inside to get Tosh McKinley overlap. There's Tommy Johnson switching it out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley cutting inside, plays it back to David Hanna. Hanna hoping to put that ball in. Tommy Johnson in attendance. And a missed header there. That's a young man, Richard David. He'll have his work cut out tonight. Certainly Inter CableTel very much aware of the fact that they'll be on their back heels for most of this game. Predictions early on that Celtic should be able to run up a crooked score, but it's fair to say, Charlie, that the essence of this match will be Inter CableTel defending for most of it.
Well, of course, we expect that. I think they're going to expect, you know, maybe one forward. It's probably going to be Haig, although at times Burrows will support as we see him try to climb there for a header. But it's all about trying to dictate to Celtic, and the problem being for Intertel, if they defend too deep, Celtic will get more space and then probably punish them. But Celtic will want to settle quickly.
Hesitancy in the part of Jackie McNamara. He plays that up to Tommy Johnson, blocked out by Andy Rickard. Rickard switching a nice pass to Paul Burrows. Well, Celtic's latest signings ineligible for this part of the European competition. Henrik Larsson and Craig Burley having to sit this one out. And most of these players tonight will be hoping to make their case for a starting place in Celtic's Premier League campaign.
Well, that's a major part for Celtic tonight. It's not just that they can go out and play a team who they're expected to win. The performance is important. More important now with a new coach. You've got to impress him. You've got to impress him quickly, and then that can establish quite firmly in his thoughts. And with the Premier League just a few days away, it's encouragement for someone, especially you look at Simon Donnelly at the weekend. Next goal against Parma, and he's on a high now, so you know they can get more confidence from this tonight.
Well, Celtic certainly will take confidence from the result at the weekend against Parma. But there was a lot of criticism coming their way, especially Wim Janssen's 11, who took the field in the Irish tournaments. Less than impressive against Derry City, and an understrength. And just before we got to that, Simon Donnelly breaking through there, and the clearance away by Marty Ellicott. Uncertainty there in the Inter defence. As I was saying, they managed to retrieve a little bit of pride against PSV, although they lost in a penalty shootout. But a disappointing last place in the Irish tournament. But as Jock Brown has pointed out, pre-season friendlies, not to judge the Premier League form on that. And Celtic will be hoping to settle down into a formation rather quickly. Tom Boyd playing a long ball there, missing out the midfield completely. It breaks to Simon Donnelly. Donnelly checking he's got Darren Jackson in attendance. Jackson playing behind Tommy Johnson in the front line. McNamara switching the play nicely. Here's Tosh McKinley. Andreas Tom with a chance to run at the Inter defence. Tom. Nice little switch into Tosh McKinley. McKinley with the cross, cleared away again there by Andy Rickard. Richard Williams with a throw-in for Inter CableTel. Cleared away by Dean Philpott. Throw into Celtic, and Celtic's best chances in this game will surely come with spreading the ball and trying to use the midfield as much as possible, Charlie.
Well, I think they want Inter-Tel to chase the game. They're going to try and suck them out. They've got to be patient at times, but it's going to be more about little angles and 1-2s, and who's going to be courageous enough to take the responsibility of that. With Paul McStay being away now, it's a difficult one for them. They don't really have a fluent passer and somebody who can make the angles and take that responsibility. So somebody like Andy Tom in the ball now, it's up to him. That's not a particularly good way to go about it.
Poor ball by Andres. Tom and Inter CableTel getting the ball away once again. Tom Boyd with a header to David Hanna. Tosh McKinley running down the left. Chance to get the cross in early. Dean Philpott with the clearance. Here's Paul Burrows, top scorer for Inter. Nice play to Sean Wharton. This is a man that's impressed George Wood very much. Playmaker in the midfield, trying to switch the play. Hanna will cover that for Celtic. Andreas Tom once again starting the play for Celtic. Inside to Stuart Gray in that central midfield role. Gray covered by Wharton. Nice ball out to Jackie McNamara. First time touch to Simon Donnelly. Donnelly into Gray once again. He is Tom and Tosh McKinley out on the left. Uses Tom first, playing it out to McKinley. Covered now by Richard Williams. Nice tackle by Williams. McKinley gets it at the second attempt. Gets a cross in there once again. Inter, they are stacking the defence and clearing it out. Celtic keeping the pressure up. Stubbs out to McNamara. McNamara with a cross in. Donnelly's there, but it's cleared away again by Colin Gibson. Inter frantic. Bit of hesitancy there, and the clearance. Well, Andy Rickard had 2 attempts to get the clearance there. Nice ball from Jackie McNamara. A little bit of hesitancy in the Inter defence, but at the second attempt, with no main striker for Celtic putting any pressure on him, Andy Rickard manages to get it away. Stuart Gray with the in-swinger for Celtic. Poor ball cleared away by Wharton. Breaks out to McNamara. 30 yards out. I think he was trying to put that into the roof of the net. Unfortunately, the intention in his head didn't quite match the overall effort. Here's Tosh McKinley once again for Celtic. Stubbs closed down by 2 players. Coming inside, he has Darren Jackson there, and it's cleared away. A lot is expected this season of Alan Stubbs. He hasn't quite settled into the Celtic way of thinking, and he's had troublesome injuries. Well,
yeah, he's had a lot of problems through injury, and I don't think he's ever got his fluency to his game because of that. There's always been a few hiccups to him. I was interested in reading close season that he was actually playing in midfield, but I think he's more natural being a defender, and I think it's a very important season, not just for Stubbs, but you know, to get the formation built around about a team now and get a structure into your team, because it's a waste of time just going to play any formation or get your best players out when you don't really have a structure to it. So this is why it's so interesting to see how Jansson's going to progress this side.
Well, there's no doubt this European competition, Charlie, has come early in the season, and this may well not be the starting 11 in the Premier League over the next couple of weeks for Celtic.
I would think not. I would expect, you know, with Larsson especially coming, a few other signings expected. We will see changes to this Celtic side, but it does take time to adapt to a system, and Celtic's always been, you know, so positive in its attitude of passing the ball and angles and entertaining in a way. And Jansson already has commented that maybe they're going to be a shortfall in that. He's maybe going to cut back on that and bring it more as a unit. So already we're seeing Tommy Johnson up front in his own, Tom wide with Simon Donnelly. So already there's a new look about Celtic's side.
Do you see the Cavalier attitude changing, Charlie?
I don't think I would see it much. I don't think they have enough players of genuine quality that you could actually say to them, you know, change their style of play. This is a way to change it. I think with Tom especially, who's a creative player, sometimes they disappoints people with his attitude, but you know, they don't have a lot of flair. But I think Celtic supporters in particular will always demand that the players show a bit of responsibility and a bit of entertainment.
Here's Jackson with the ball down to the touchline for McNamara. Cuts back, playing it to Jackson once again, looking for support. Tosh McKinley's there on the left. He may well have a chance for a shot here. He's got Andres Tom on the left as well. Takes a slight deflection into the arms of Ellicott. Well, a chance for Tosh McKinley there to have a go. He'll be heartened by the fact of a 2-year deal. Pledged himself to Celtic just when he thought he was out of the plans here. Wim Jansen, after looking at some videos of Scotland matches, decided that he had a future in the defence for Celtic. Here's Richard Haigh setting Paul Burrows off again. Colin Gibson on the overlap. And Sean Wharton. Wharton, that ball just wouldn't sit up for him. Comes away to Stuart Gray. Gray calmly out to Tosh McKinley. Simon Donnelly picking the ball up in the middle for Celtic. Switching it out once again to Jackie McNamara. McNamara looking for Donnelly inside once again. And Donnelly setting McNamara off. That ball's just a little bit too far for him. Andy Rickard, the covering player for Inter.
He's been fairly impressive so far as Rickard and Philpott at the back. They've not been dragged into positions they don't want to go yet, and that's a good sign for Intertel.
Simon Donnelly. Stuart Gray in the playmaker role in the middle of the park. A lot will be expected of this man. Tosh McKinley. Johnson on the overlap. Slippy conditions on the Celtic Park this evening. The rain lashing down.
Perfect night for football, Peter.
Here's Tosh McKinley. Chance to get the cross in. Tackled once again by Richard Williams. And yet again a corner to Celtic. Still no breakthroughs yet, but I think it's rather unfair, Charlie, for people to expect a barload of goals.
No, it takes time. Sometimes you've just got to, go for an hour, 70 minutes before something comes, as we see Simon Donnelly's cross.
Donnelly with the header just across there from Darren Jackson, trying to get in on the end of it. Tommy Johnson to Stuart Gray. Andreas Tom is there. Tom once again across the line to Jackson. Takes the return out again to Tosh McKinley on the left. Can he get the early cross in? The ball's just skidding away from him. Nice play by Tosh McKinley. Plays it out to Andreas Tom. This could be a shot. Tom lines it up. Dummies and cleared away by Neil Davis. Good block there. McKinley has it again. Celtic try to build. Tom sneaking offside. David Hanna caught in possession there. Richard Haigh trying to come away with the ball. Andreas Tom. Jackie McNamara. Switching it out wide to Tommy Johnson. That should skid away from him. Nice control by Johnson. Trying to get the cross in and does so. And receiving the applause of the Celtic players and the fans.
Well, and ended up a disadvantage for him because it was a good ball from Jackie McNamara. He was stretching, a great touch. As you can see, he's controlled it that well, and I think his colleagues have given up hope of it. No one in support. But Intertel again have defended fairly well, not been too over elaborate at the back. They can get it away and then defend in numbers, and so far they're pretty strong, but Celtic are still piling on the pressure.
Just a couple of passes going astray in the middle of the park for Celtic. Still no breakthroughs yet. Celtic patient in the build-up. Tosh McKinley to Stuart Gray, going down the left. And Mr. Mikulev, the referee from Malta, decides that's a free kick going Inter's way.
You mentioned earlier, Peter, as a referee, as we're watching, it can take a long time to break these teams down. I mean, so far Intertel have been working ever so hard for each other, and credit to them for doing that. But you always wonder how long that can last. Sometimes it's just the first goal that breaks it. Sometimes it can be as long as 70-75 minutes. But so far, they're doing very well.
Well, they're doing the manager, George Wood, proud because he doesn't want it to run up into a cricket score, and he hopes Inter can restore some pride after that 3-0 defeat at home. But he has pointed out in the press conference yesterday when I spoke to him that Inter CableTel are no better, in fact nowhere near even a Vauxhall Conference League side in England. So really, once the first goal comes in, you would expect Celtic to build on it rather quickly. Yeah,
you would do. I mean, you expect Celtic to probably get in top very quickly. We know the pressure is there, they're applying the pressure. But it's all about try to survive at the moment for Intertel, there's no doubt about that. They'll just be delighted to be here, get the gate money. They're quite happy with, they can tell people about this in their past. So very good for them as a club. But you don't want them to come out and get hammered tonight, because it can ruin their confidence for their season, their up-and-coming season.
Here's Tosh McKinley for Celtic down the left, playing it inside to Tommy Johnson. Gets the head flick on there. Once again, Inter stacking the central defence and trying to clear the danger. McKinley again to Andreas Tom. Lovely dummy there by Tosh McKinley. Slipping away from his marker, puts it inside, takes a slight deflection. That'll be another corner to Celtic. Simon Donnelly with the corner for Celtic. Alan Stubbs in attendance, looking to get on the end of this. Johnson moves front post, it goes all the way to the back. Elliott has trouble getting it there. Up goes Alan Stubbs, doesn't get on the end of it, and interclear the danger once again. It'll break to Wayne Hewitt. Hewitt playing it long. Quarter an hour of this match gone, still no breakthrough for Celtic. They have a 3-0 aggregate lead from the first leg. And there's the mistake there from the goalkeeper coming out, failed to claim it. And Wayne Hewitt clearing the danger for Inter CableTel. Well, Marty Ellicott, the goalkeeper for Inter CableTel, has had professional league experience with Torquay United. But by far, this will be his biggest game of his career. Here's Tosh McKinley, Andreas Tom on the left. Chance to switch the play, Jackie McNamara calling for it. Pulls it down nicely, McNamara, first touch is a good one. Johnson. Stuart Gray, checking again, playing it back to Stubbs. Stubbs doing what he does best, plays the pass out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley playing it inside to the box, there's Ellicott at the back, Jackson in attendance. And Ellicott looking at Darren Jackson. Tosh McKinley getting the ball into the area, and again Celtic having difficulty, as they did in the Irish tournament, of getting strikers in the danger area to get on the end of it.
Yeah, they're hopeful crosses rather than really creating any danger. It ended up comfortable for Ellicott. It did well in the end up, but they're not really getting any fluency in their passing yet. Darren Jackson have yet to see really involved in the match. He'll want to make a big impression, and so far the passing has been slow and mainly built up through Tom, as we see on the ball, and Tosh McKinley overlapping.
Andres Tom outside of the right boot, beautiful pass there, just skidding away from Tosh McKinley. Dean Philpott remaining calm, and it's now with Richard Williams. Williams playing it long, David Hanna, the supporting player for Celtic. Andres Tom, Gray trying the first time pass and blocked out once again by Williams. Richard Williams, he played for Millwall. Here's Tommy Johnson with his back to goalie. Is Stuart Gray there on the edge of the box. Tackled once again by Andy Rickard. Here's McKinley with another chance to try and get the ball into the box. Darren Jackson's there. Andres Tom and Jackie McNamara. The ball's out to Stubbs. Stubbs out to McNamara. Chance to run at the Inter defence. He opts for the cross into the area. Darren Jackson's there with a header. First real chance for Darren Jackson. Charlie looking to him to get into this match, and he replies with a header just going over the top.
Well, he actually started the build-up. It came tight. He put it ball to McNamara. It's a decent delivery. Not the best in the air as Darren, but at least he's keen to get in there. It's a strange position. Midfield is one he's been used to in the past with Hibs. But with Celtic, you get far more of the ball, and you've got to be able to create a lot more, because of the people who support, they want a lot more from you. So that's the expectations of playing for Celtic.
Darren Jackson, on speaking to him last week, says he hopes to be played in the striking role up front for Celtic, but as has been the case, here's a chance for Celtic now. Simon Donnelly inside the box, can he get it down? Takes it inside, that looks as if it could be a penalty. It is! Celtic get the penalty. Mr. Milikev decides that Celtic have the penalty after Simon Donnelly was brought down. Well, Donnelly hoping for that ball to come down there, takes it nicely inside, and a lunge from the Inter defender. No danger there, that was almost certainly a penalty.
Never in doubt. Good skill, good composure from Simon Donnelly. You see the right boot of the defender came across. Simple task for the referee to point to the spot.
Andreas Tom with the penalty. Ellicott dived to his right on the last penalty that Andreas Tom took. And this time, Ellicott goes the right way, but Andreas Tom, superb technique, puts it lovely into the right-hand corner of the net. Celtic have the lead by 1-0.
Oh, a simple job when it comes to penalties. As long as you're composed, just places it nicely in the corner, keeper no chance. Good composure from Andy Tom, obviously confident after the first leg. And Celtic finally make the breakthrough.
Andreas Tom opens the scoring for Celtic and makes it 4-0 on aggregate in the second leg of this UEFA Cup tie. Andreas Tom may well have scored there, but Alan Stubbs letting that one slip through to Gordon Marshall. Rather lucky that Richard Haig never got on the end of it. McNamara switching the play. Lovely pass once again. And will the floodgates open now as Celtic surge forward? McKinley with the long ball into the box. Simon Donnelly ghosting in at the back post. Cleared away by Wayne Hewitt. Pressure on now. Donnelly hoping to sneak in behind Wayne Hewitt there. Corner kick to Celtic. Alan Stubbs quite clear, Charlie, they're hoping for Stubbs to start spraying the passes about as they build from the back in this new look Celtic.
Yeah, they want diagonal passes. Alan Stubbs is very good at that. He enjoys doing it. It's a good vision for it. So you know, this will be a big plus for Celtic to diagonal balls tonight. Will make CableTel chase them all over the place.
Here's Jackie McNamara once again. McNamara out to Tommy Johnson. Johnson trying to slip away there from Richard David. Second attempt. Jackie McNamara will take the throw in for Celtic. Tommy Johnson, subject of a transfer bid from Manchester City, but Celtic are adamant that he will stay in their starting lineup and in the attack for the assault on the Premier League. Fair ball there, Alan Stubbs unable to connect with the head. Well, George Wood will have been delighted with the first quarter of an hour and the performance of his side. But he'll be disappointed with the fact they gave away a penalty, as they did in the first leg again.
Yeah, he can be pleased. There's a lot more plus points for George Wood's side tonight. Started this quite promisingly. Good numbers at the back, as we mentioned earlier. And it's unusual for them to play against a team who can pass it probably as well as this, you know, at this level. So it's a big different change to their outlook. They can't go, you know, chasing the game all night long. They've got to sit in there sometimes and just say to Celtic, it's up to you. If you're good enough, you can break us down, but if you're not, then we'll be back in numbers.
Celtic trying to spread the play. McKinley once again with the long ball into the box. Simon Donnelly trying to get on the end of it. The danger cleared. For the moment though, Jackie McNamara once again. He's going to have a run. Goes to the touchline. Lovely cross in there. There's a chance for Tommy Johnson. Didn't manage to get under it. And the header going over the top.
It's brilliant play from Jackie McNamara. Wants to hit the dead ball line. He's 5 yards from it. Fires in a great cross. Tommy Johnson, he's got himself sucked under it. He really must adjust. You see the delivery coming in. He must be adjusting his feet to get his head and keep this down. Instead of that, he's sucked under it.
Stubbs with a header, infringement there. Richard Haig winning the free kick for CableTel. Sean Wharton, we haven't seen too much of him in the middle of the park. Richard Williams takes the free kick. Header inside, Stubbs, the covering defender for Celtic. And a throw into Inter. Wayne Hewitt trying the long one, still manages to get it to one of his players. Stuart Gray, the clearing kick. McNamara brings it out. It's with Andreas Tom checking back. McKinley to Stubbs. Stubbs playing it to Jackie McNamara. Simon Donnelly, Jackson's inside him. Plays it back to McNamara. Celtic once again quite patient with the build-up. And a switch of play from Gordon Marshall, and a nice ball too out to Tosh McKinley, just going over the halfway line, setting off Tommy Johnson. He's in goal here. Ellicott's there. He loses it. Johnson trying to get in at the second attempt. And quite honestly at this point, Marty Ellicott is quite nervy. He's failed to catch a couple of the cross balls from Celtic, and that one was a worrying one, Charlie.
Yeah, but credit to him, he made his mind up. He took responsibility to come and get it, and he was really helping out Philpott there. Little slip into the bargain, but he retrieved the situation. I always say that goalkeepers are crazy. If they get away with it, they're doing the right thing.
A Thankfully, Marty Ellicott is not listening to our commentary at the moment, but his confidence and his nerves will not have been done any good with that little slip. That's a poor ball out of defence there from David Hanna, and a chance for Neil Davis to run at Alan Stubbs. Stubbs again playing it short. Gordon Marshall's in there, the clearance. And Stubbs, on 2 occasions, has actually played the ball short and put the Celtic defence in danger. Here's Richard Williams, boosted by that mistake by Alan Stubbs, but a poor ball there straight to Gordon Marshall. Well, once again, Alan Stubbs trying to play the ball out of danger, and again Celtic's play and the passing breaking down in midfield. And just at this spell, Inter starting to see more of the ball. Good ball in there. Andreas Thom is covering for Celtic. There's a mix-up in the defence, and Gordon Marshall and Andreas Thom didn't really know what each other was doing there. Thom took command and cleared the danger.
You mentioned nerves with the Inter keeper Ellicott, and it's looking as if Celtic now have got the nerves. It's just someone taking that responsibility. It started off with Alan Stubbs being slack again. He's not even paid attention to where the forwards went, and for that reason he puts his goalkeeper in trouble, and he could easily give him a goal away there. But Andy Thom, you know, is blessed with great ability going forward, but you don't really want him back there defending.
Celtic once again opting for this long ball from the full-backs. Alan Stubbs with a calm header there. Tom Boyd with a decisive pass back to Gordon Marshall. Well, most people associating Celtic's defence is where the main area of concern is, Charlie, but they didn't have the worst defensive record. In fact, they had the second best in the Premier League last season.
It didn't surprise me that. I think defensively they have good players, but what you've got to have, it's not just about your back 4 or your back 5. You see Tommy Johnson run it too long. It's more about the midfield unit and your wider players in front of you. I tend to miss out the first 2 forwards. A lot of people prefer the forwards to defend, but in the Premiership, for instance, it's more about long balls, and Celtic have so much of the ball at times. It's really about their midfield balance in front of the defenders, and I think that was always, you know, pretty well balanced with Peter Grant and Paul McStay. Evident a lot of the times that they were always supporting the back 4, and you don't always need to be the most aggressive player to stop anything like that. So I think Celtic's balance is more worrying for me looking at Celtic just now about defensive units in the midfield area rather than at the back.
Well, one of the criticisms of the Tommy Burns era here was that the Celtic full-backs pushing forward left the 3 central defenders exposed on a number of occasions, mainly in the Rangers games. And I'm sure Wim Janssen's style will change and try and keep things tight at the back. Whether the Celtic fans will be patient as he tries to restructure the way they play, only time will tell. Stubbs again losing out on the header. Wayne Hewitt trying to keep that one in.
They've just started to a little bit of belief now. Inter, they're starting to get a little bit of the ball in Celtic's own half after seeing the mix-ups. So they've got a little bit of a lift, and after the initial penalty from Andy Thom, you thought, here it is, it's maybe just going to open up for them. They would start panicking then. But it's changed. In the last 5 minutes, it's changed again.
Andreas Thom taking a hefty challenge. Seems to be okay. He'll want to steer clear.
Good timing. Very good timing from a defender.
Jackie McNamara. Nice 1-2. Here's McNamara. Right foot shot blocked. Nice 1-2 there. Andy Thom and Tommy Johnson there working with it. Alan Stubbs now on the attack. Stubbs strength winning. Simon Donnelly. Donnelly going to the touchline, gets the cross in, good one, into the back is Thom with the header, good save by Ellicott. Paul Burrows with the ball, playing it up, looking for the running player Brian Gibson. Celtic once again with possession. David Hanna to Tom Boyd. McNamara free on the right. Boyd deciding to go left. Andreas Thom. McKinley playing it inside once again to Tommy Johnson. Johnson to Gray. Gray across to Tom Boyd. McNamara's free, finds him out on the right. Celtic playing it along the middle patch. Switch of play nicely by Stuart Gray. Andreas Tom with a chance this time to run at Richard Williams. Tom going inside, looking for the right foot shot. Drives one in, just past the left-hand post. Good shot by Andreas Tom. Well, Simon Donnelly picked up that last chance, swerved it over, and Andreas Tom coming in at the corner. Great save there by Marty Ellicott. A good chance going amiss. And Tom at the heart of things once again.
Yeah, so typical. He likes to cut inside with his powerful right foot. Just came across it a little bit and sliced it wide. Well, again, you know, the threat is coming from Tom. We know he's got the craft, we know he's got the knowledge to get by these players. And sometimes it looks ever so easy for him. You just wish you could see more and more of it.
Half hour gone in this match. Celtic still leading by a goal to nil. Coming in the 18th minute, Andreas Tom from the penalty spot after Simon Donnelly was brought down. Darren Jackson switching the play nicely to Stuart Gray. Gray with Hannah and Tosh McKinley. McKinley once again, a chance to run at Williams. Opts for the long ball into the box. Donnelly's free at the back. Jackson has it out on the right. Nice ball away to the back post again, and that cross is certainly catching out the Inter goalkeeper Marty Ellicott, and the clearing player this time is Dean Philpott.
Yeah, they're getting the crosses into good areas now. They want somebody to attack it in the back, but defending well again. They're really doing well. Getting their keeper out of a little dodgy position there. They're there in numbers again.
Donnelly with the corner for Celtic. In swinging. Up goes Wayne Hewitt. Jackson getting in there with a flick. Goal kick. Darren Jackson is a man who's looking forward to scoring in front of the home support here. Didn't quite connect with it, Charlie.
No, he didn't. It was difficult. Again, it was good numbers back for Inter. Darren, not known for his great heading ability, but that's in 2 occasions now in this first half. He's been keen to get in there, so the signs are prominent for him. Might be something could come tonight.
Neil Davis with a head flick on. Tom Boyd covering. Up goes Wayne Hewitt. Doesn't connect with it. Simon Donnelly's in there again. 2 Inter players. The referee says that's a free kick to Celtic. Jackson out to McKinley. McKinley once again to Andreas Tom, the orchestrator for Celtic. At the heart of most of the attacks, here's Stuart Gray. Gray playing it out to Alan Stubbs. Stubbs has McNamara there. Sets it down the right. McNamara with once again a chance to run at Wayne Hewitt. Goes inside. Tom coming to collect the ball. He plays it nicely into Simon Donnelly. Donnelly flicking that. Breaks away. Andy Rickard with a long clearance. David Hanna, the covering player. All the way back to Gordon Marshall in the Celtic goal.
The paces went out the game. Celtic are playing far too many square passes now. It's pretty slow and deliberate. Pretty easy to read. And because of that, you don't get any fluency. It's stop-start football. You've got to eventually suck defenders and midfield players in and play tight angle passes. Celtic are by far the better team here, and they've got to entice them in and do something different. Take a gamble in the game, because at the moment it's quite flat.
Well, one of the worrying aspects, Charlie, and Alan Stubbs has played 2 fabulous 40-yard passes, but some of his distribution on the shorter passes has put Celtic in trouble.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's going to make mistakes. You've got to be prepared for those mistakes. Andy Tom has done the same, but most of the good work has been from wide positions, from Jackie McNamara, Andy Tom on the left, Simon Donnelly and Tosh McKinley. They're the productive ones so far, and that's where the goals will come from.
Jackie McNamara to Simon Donnelly. Donnelly trying to pass that to Jackson. His first touch lets him down. It'll be a throw-in to Inter. Well, Inter CableTel play their football at the Cardiff Stadium. And an interesting point, Charlie, which I'm sure for yourself, you're looking for a bargain. You can actually buy a season ticket for the whole season for £10, and already 130 of them have been snapped up.
I might just look into that one, Peter.
I'm sure Fergus McCann would say it's not bad business. The season before there was only 1 season ticket holder, so 129 extra should create some atmosphere inside the Cardiff Stadium. But the team at the moment are certainly doing Wales proud. They're only a goal down. And Captain Sean Wharton said he hoped most of his players didn't freeze on the night. They certainly haven't done that yet. And they've conducted themselves very well and are proving very difficult to break down in defence.
they've been anything but overwhelmed here. They knew, I think, exactly. George Woods has done his homework here. He's just sat them in, told them to be patient. They don't need to go and run to everything. And they're forcing Celtic to try and create the openings. And so far, you know, it's been limited. And I think they've done very, very well at times. They've been a pretty strong unit. I do feel for the two forwards, Haig and Burrows. Burrows in particular looks as if he's got a lovely touch. Very keen to impress tonight. But because the two of them are up there not getting a great amount of service, you know, they get a little bit frustrated at times.
Well, Burrows especially is a man who knows his way to goal. 21 goals for CableTel in the Welsh League last season. The top scorer in the club. So if he does get a sniff, Celtic fans will be hoping he doesn't put it in the back of the net. I'm sure anyone who scores for Inter tonight, if they do manage to get a goal, it will live with them forever. Tosh McKinley once again with a long ball into the box. Ellicott, that'll boost his confidence, no problems there. And most of the Celtic fans displeased because no one was in the box putting any threat on the goalkeeper.
I don't think it was really necessary for Tosh to throw it in. Simon Donnelly was 18-yard line and he was only one in the perimeter of the box, so it was not necessary for to throw it in. He could have kept the ball, built up a few passes, and that's what I mean. It's stop-start football. They're giving it away cheaply at times. They've got to be a bit more creative.
Lovely pass by Tommy Johnson. He's holding the ball up well, especially with his back to goal. And Andres Tom has a chance to cut inside, maybe with a shot. Stuart Gray, left foot, doesn't connect with that one. He won't be happy. Well, the skid there, very difficult for Stuart Gray to keep that ball down.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to anticipate that he'll do better than that. I mean, he's a decent professional football player. You know, on his day, he's a very talented boy, but you know, he shaped up, the whole thing was shaped up for his favourite left foot, and his timing just wasn't to be. Sometimes, again, like Tosh McKinley's last cross, you don't always have to force the issue. You can take your touch, maybe play a little quick 1-2 round about Wharton, who came out to try and defend him there, and try and do something different.
Tommy Johnson once again with his back to goal. Lovely ball, Andres Tom. Ellicott's coming out. Tom will get there. Ellicott with the tackle. It's out to Andres Tom again. The keeper's running back to his goal. Darren Jackson's there. There's the header from Simon Donnelly. And Jackson looks at Donnelly, asking why he took that away from his foot.
Well, Ellicott's decided again to come out. Doesn't do enough. Andy Tom, I thought, was going to go for goal here because it was empty, as you see. But Darren Jackson, he's got to scream at Simon Donnelly. There's only one guy coming in the ball, just a simple header into the net, with no one guarding it. But it was a good burst of pace from Tom.
Darren Jackson still in search of that first goal for Celtic, and it looked as if that ball was just about to drop right onto his right foot. Simon Donnelly's header taking it away, much to the disgust of the former Hibs player. Tosh McKinley. Tom Boyd. Boyd once again to Alan Stubbs. Stubbs looking up, plays it short this time to Boyd. Tosh McKinley calling for it, opts for Stuart Gray. Gray putting this out right to Jackie McNamara. Takes a hefty tackle there from Dean Philpott, and the referee's going to have a word with him. In fact, Dean Philpott will receive the yellow card for that challenge. Celtic quick to take the free kick. Andreas Tom with a chance to run. Right foot shot here, blocked again. Oh. And Richard David will have to have a look, because I'm sure that was a sore one for him. Inter breaking out Paul Burrows and Tom Boyd. Lovely flick by Tom Boyd into Stuart Gray. Confidence there at the back from the Celtic captain, Jackie McNamara. Going down the right, Neil Davis chasing. McNamara looking to get the cross in, coming back. He's got two players around him. Gets the cross in, lovely one over there. Inter clearing the danger. Andreas Tom putting it out to Tosh McKinley. Inter defending in numbers. Tom on the overlap. McKinley going inside. Tommy Johnson back to goal. Coming away, puts it out to Andreas Tom. Simon Donnelly, lovely turn inside. Coming away from Wayne Hewitt. Jackie McNamara running down the right. Switches it out left again to Stuart Gray. First touch lets him down. Sean Wharton with the tackle. Lovely switch of play again. Celtic building slow, patient. Tosh McKinley throws the dummy and goes towards the touchline, trying to get the cross in. He'll have a second chance with his right. Plays it back to Andreas Tom. This could be a shot from Tom. Tries to curl it delicately there. Dean Philpott with the clearing header. Tosh McKinley once again for Celtic. Andreas Tom. Tom with Johnson going front post, tries for the flick, doesn't get it. McNamara, 3 players covering if he opts to move inside. McNamara playing it back to Alan Stubbs. The fans unhappy with the decision. Jackson cutting inside, caught in possession. Nice play. Paul Burrows trying to set off Richard Haig there. McNamara going past Neil Davis, trying to get in. Wayne Hewitt. Davis retrieves the situation. A throw in for Celtic, just 10 yards away from the corner flag.
Well, full credit to them again. They've got numbers back. Davis helping out Hewitt. They're working so much for each other at the moment. They're just giving nothing away to Celtic and forcing Celtic to try and create something. And that's what's causing a little murmur in the crowd at times. So full credit to Inter.
The last 5 minutes of the first half, Celtic still have that slender 1-goal lead. 4-0 on aggregates. I'm sure Wim Jansen would have been looking for a greater score after first 45 minutes of almost total possession. And Celtic once again build. Darren Jackson with a chance to run, plays that ball to the back. Stuart Grade's too far.
Again, it's a case that you want someone to do something different. We've seen a lot of those balls that ain't going anywhere, crosses that are not really at good angles. If I was Darren there, I would have been, probably keener to take the man on 1-on-1 and maybe try and get a shot and goal. You've got to change it a little bit.
Well, the only man at this stage, Charlie, who looks as if he's creating anything for Celtic is Andreas Tom. And the German player was one of the guys tipped to be heading out the door at Celtic Park in the pre-season.
Yeah, and I think there's still some doubts whether he's going to be here under Janssen. But we all know how clever a player he is. There's no denying about his ability. People have said that he doesn't last all the games the way he should for the ability he has. But there's a lot of football in Andy Tom yet.
And Andreas Tom has the ball now. And in Celtic's second season under Tommy Burns, many fans believed that when Tom was playing, Celtic were playing as well. Here's Tosh McKinley going past. That'll be a free kick. And it looks as if Richard Williams could find himself in the book for that tackle. The referee looking at Richard Williams, and in fact, that hefty tackle earns him a yellow card, and the second one of the night, both to Inter players. Tosh McKinley with a free kick, and a chance to swing this away from the Inter goalkeeper. Here's McKinley. Jackson with a header down, great goal, Darren Jackson! And this time he breaks his duck. And what will that mean to him? Celebrating with Tosh McKinley. Celtic 2, Inter 0.
Well, we've mentioned he's getting there twice in the first half. He's been keen to do it. Simon Donnelly should have left one earlier, but it's a great header. The good pace on the free kick from McKinley. It's done enough for him. You see the pace on it, swinging away from the keeper. He knows if he keeps it down, there's no way the keeper can stop it. Great finish.
Darren Jackson breaks his duck in front of the home crowd. And Celtic 2 goals up, 5 goals up on the night. Beautiful free kick from Tosh McKinley, swinging away from the goalkeeper. Darren Jackson timing the header, heading it down. And as any good striker, like the one on my left-hand side will tell me, that's the perfect way to finish it off.
It is. I'm not particularly renowned for my heading ability either, but that's all you need when you get great crosses like that. Just keep it down, and then you've got the chance of beating the keeper, which proved to be for Darren.
Well, Darren wanted to make it known to most of the Celtic fans that he wasn't an out-and-out goal scorer, but he certainly hopes to get his fair share of them throughout this season.
It's never easy, because when you come as a striker, especially to Celtic, you're expected to score over 20 goals every season, whether you're playing well or not. So, it's nice sometimes to not have as much pressure as what's always put on you by the supporters.
Here's Jackson, a lovely ball through there. Tommy Johnson's in. Ellicott will have to header this one, and he does spectacularly. And a smile on Marty Ellicott's face there. That was a spectacular clearance, worthy of any centre half.
Yeah, give him credit again. He's read the situation, playing in the sweeper's role there, and does the right thing, just knocks it out for a throw-in.
Well, it's quite clear, despite losing 2 goals, Marty Ellicott enjoying this UEFA Cup tie, something that he will savour for the rest of his life. That's a nice little touch by Jackie McNamara over Neil Davis. McNamara once again covered by 2 players. Clearly George Wood's done his homework. Jackson just steadies himself, puts the cross in, and there's a header from Tommy Johnson. Great goal! Number 3, Tommy Johnson. Once again, the measured cross from Darren Jackson, and Johnson heading that one away from Marty Ellicott. Celtic 3, Inter CableTel 0.
Well, there's always a difference. We mentioned a lot of hopeless crosses. This one's got pace, and it's well away from the goalkeeper. He can't come and clutch it. But credit to Johnson, it's a great power header. The pace on it, it swings away, favouring Johnson, and he's directed it beautifully in the corner. Great power header.
Darren Jackson there just took a second touch. Johnson, as Charlie pointed out, power header, hands in the air. And if ever a man wanted to state the case that he will be valuable to Celtic next season, it's Tommy Johnson.
There's the difference between the stop-start football when they're playing it so many times square. It's just one touch and then in, and there's a goal.
And the referee brings the first half to an end. Receiving the applause is the Celtic team. They opened the scoring in 18 minutes through Andreas Tom. Darren Jackson added the second in 41. And just on the stroke of half-time, Tommy Johnson has given Celtic a commanding 6-0 aggregate lead. The first half, Celtic 3, Inter CableTel 0. Referee gets things underway. Celtic with a 3-goal advantage. Tosh McKinley to Andreas Tom, and Enrico Annoni getting his first touch with the ball. Here's David Hanna in the middle, as Charlie suggested. Tommy Johnson playing in the striking role, supported by Darren Jackson. Here's David Hanna trying to engineer that ball away from Wayne Hewitt. It's a throw in to Inter CableTel. Jackie McNamara with the throw-in for Celtic, looking for a bit of support. Darren Jackson coming, Annoni playing it high into the air. No one even challenging. Andy Rickard with the clearance. Annoni with a chance to build again. Tommy Boyd switching it left. Tosh McKinley. First touch will have to be good. Andreas Tom. Stubbs with a long switch of play once again. Jackie McNamara is available. McNamara once again covered by two players, going for the 1-2. This one just might sneak away from him. Gets a cross in, well done. Tommy Johnson with a shot. Ellicott over the top of the bar. An exceptional play there from Jackie McNamara, just as it looked as if the ball was heading to the touchline. Lovely 1-2.
He just refused to give up, McNamara, and to his credit, he gets in a superb cross also. Tommy Johnson does the right thing, just try and get it in target.
David Hanna with the right foot shot deflection. That'll be a corner to Celtic. Dean Philpott with the clearance. Well, Simon Donnelly and Jackie McNamara working well down the right-hand side. McNamara with a never-say-die attitude, and Tommy Johnson with a header which forced Marty Ellicott into the tip over the top of the bar. McNamara and Donnelly link up once again. Nice play by Donnelly, trying to get the cross in. Wayne Hewitt blocking, giving a corner once again to Celtic. Donnelly swinging this one away from the keeper. Stubbs is up there, trying to get into the header. Darren Jackson controlling. First touch was a bad one. Jackson retrieves the situation nicely. Andreas Tom checks, going back inside again. Enrico Annoni in a forward position, surprisingly. He has Hanna on his right. Annoni looks as if he's shaping up for a shot here. Well, the Italian going to the edge of the box, tries the left foot shot, takes a slight deflection. And Marty Ellicott just making sure that that one was going nowhere near the goal. And Annoni surprising us with a sleight of foot.
Well, I think he's wearing Paolo Di Canio's boots tonight. They don't seem to be Enrico's. Very unlike him. Decides that the space opens up, to his credit. Little dance. But in his left foot, he's not particularly got a powerful right foot shot, even worse than the left.
Enrico Annoni, hoping to break his duck this season for Celtic. Got some nice work on the edge of the box. Unfortunately, the end product just wasn't there. Lovely touch by Simon Donnelly, bringing that ball down. Trying the reverse pass again to Tommy Johnson. Johnson will get it at the second attempt. Plays a nice early ball out to Tosh McKinley. Andreas Thomas in the middle. That's just skidded away from Tosh McKinley. Stubbs the only man at the back for Celtic. Boyd plays it long. Tommy Johnson won't get to that one. Poor ball out there by Dean Philpott.
Quite a few balls that they try and move into the gaps behind the fullbacks. Didn't come off there for Tommy Boyd. But they look to be hitting a lot more, you know, straightforward balls down behind the fullback Celtic rather than play through the midfield.
Lovely header by Enrico Annoni sets Celtic off again. David Hanna with a short pass to McNamara. McNamara and Donnelly linking up beautifully. Jackie McNamara trying to beat Wayne Hewitt for pace. Doesn't do so. Will he keep that in? He does. David Hanna, early ball into the box. Cleared away again by Richard David. Simon Donnelly into Andreas Tom. Now what can he do from here? Tom lines up the right foot shot. Comes back off the chest of Ellicott. And Ellicott at the second attempt clears it. Lovely shot by Andreas Tom. Tosh McKinley lofting the ball into the box. Ellicott will gather this one.
Yeah, great save. It's good play from Simon Donnelly. Andy Tom, he's most creative. Cuts inside and that right again. It's such a powerful shot. It's difficult for Ellicott to hold on to it. But he's knocked it back out and it's got cleared.
Andreas Tom at the heart of most of the attacking moves for Celtic. Could have had a hat-trick when you look at some of the chances he's had this evening, all created by himself to his credit.
Well, I think he's happiest when he's cutting inside in this right foot. When he's wide left, he can come in and link up with play, and that gives him a little bit, maybe a yard or two spare that can get that right foot round the ball and get the power shots in. Whereas when he's in his right, in the right wing last season, he played there a lot, just as you watch a Burrows
ball out by Tom Boyd there, and it's going to break. Here's a chance for Inter. Clearance away by Tosh McKinley. Ryan Gibson moving into pressure.
Again, it's just clumsy play from Celtic at the back. Trying to play a glamorous ball when it's not necessary. Or just a bit of composure back to the keeper and start again.
Just a few signs from Celtic when they're under pressure in the back area. Some slack passing is really putting them in danger.
Sometimes you have too much time, and you know it becomes so easy that you can just try and make a pass in your mind which isn't actually there, and that's what's happened.
Wayne Hewitt with a corner for Inter CableTel. Marshall will get there and collects it nice. Darren Jackson running, wants the early ball. Andreas Tom will get it in the middle of the park, and Tom Boyd going on the overlap. David Hanna picks things up for Celtic. Here's Jackson with a chance to run at the Inter defence. He switches the play into the middle. Andreas Tom and Simon Donnelly both going for it. Inter in the end winning the header. Nice play with Sean Wharton. Early ball in. Enrico Annoni is there for Celtic. Hanna to McNamara. Poor touch from Jackie McNamara. Very uncharacteristic of the attacking fullback tonight. Annoni out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley looking to take the run down the touchline, checks back inside. Jackson is there helping out. McKinley swivels round, going right to the touchline, trying to get the cross in, and that'll be a goal kick. Sean Wharton playing it back off Tosh McKinley. Well, McKinley didn't have many options inside.
No, he was looking for Tommy Johnson to come short, but Tommy remained in the box, wanting it into feet. But no one else came in support of him, and that's what I'm saying in the first half about angles and being responsible to say, I want the ball. And there'll never be a better time than tonight. When you're sitting, comfortable victory, you've got so much space to want on the ball tonight, and I think that's what's impressed so far about Andy Tom. he's seen that as an example and he's thought, well, the more I get on the ball, the more chance I've got of getting goals.
And the man at the centre of discussion once again, Andreas Tom for Celtic, all the way back to Anoni, inside to Alan Stubbs. Stubbs playing a beautiful long ball to Jackie McNamara once again, and Wayne Hewitt losing out here. McNamara inside the box, tries the right foot shot, fails to hit the target. Alan Stubbs with a fabulous cross-section pass there.
Yeah, he's very good at those diagonal balls, as Stubbs. With both feet, actually. He's very unusual for a defender. But it's good chest work. Little nod down by Jackie, trying to get in a comfortable position, but his body's too far in front of the ball to get any real direction in it. He's played well.
Jackson out to Andreas Tom. Tom going for pace, beating Richard Williams. Left foot cross, clearing header again in the middle of the Inter defence. David Hanna picks it up for Celtic. Out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley with Tom again. Tom with a bit of space, might try the right foot shot, does. Takes a stub of grass, and that blocks any power that Andreas Tom might have had in that shot.
I think he's lost the first part of his boot in the first 4 studs. Drilled it right into the floor there.
Well, more and more in this match, Charlie, the Inter players will undoubtedly get tired, and openings will start to occur more frequently.
Well, you can see there's a bit more space getting creative for Celtic now because they're passing it and Inter are getting tired. But you've got to expect that.
Looks as if Anthony Jenkins is the first substitution for Inter CableTel. Plays in the right back role. Paul Burrows will be the man sacrificed in the second leg of this tie.
That's disappointing for him. I think he's looked a very tidy player, Burrows. Again, superior opposition like Celtic tonight. It's always so difficult for him.
Maybe George Wood, knowing that his players will become tired, just hoping to tighten things up. Anthony Jenkins has operated mostly at right back for Inter CableTel, and I'm sure he'll try and put a little bit of solidity into the defence as tiredness sets in the latter part of this match. Celtic leading by 3-0. Andreas Tom with a penalty, Darren Jackson and Tommy Johnson. Lovely ball there by Tommy Johnson to Andreas Tom. Tom looking to pick out Simon Donlan near post. That ball breaks. There's Jackson. Sean Wharton covering.
Great link-up play from Celtic. Great pass from Johnson. Good vision. Tom's already in his way. He knows where he wants it. He delays it. He's waiting for Simon Donnelly coming near post. It's a decent save from Ellicott. He's got to get a touch, but Wharton does well.
Donnelly with the corner for Celtic. Stubbs the man he's looking for. Fails to get the chance there. Hanan Jackson. Looks as if it could have been a free kick there. The referee says play on. Jackson trying to dribble his way through them all and does so. Tommy Johnson. And the linesman eventually puts his flag up.
It's a scrappy affair again. It's a nice turn from Darren Jackson. I think he does get tripped. They play advantage, and everybody trying to bulldoze their way through the middle. It breaks to Tommy Johnson eventually on the turn, and it's a snapshot wide.
Andy Rickard under pressure. Wayne Hewitt's poor pass there to Rickard. It'll be a throw into Celtic. Jackie McNamara taking it quickly. Tommy Johnson with a cross in. Andreas Tom is there. Leaves it to Tosh McKinley. McKinley to Jackson. Donnelly trying to turn his man there. Andreas Tom being held. His shirt was being held there. Tom not complaining, but that definitely was a claim possibly for a penalty.
I think it's a good block. I think it's enough. The defender, you can see he's just trying to hold him off with his arm rather than pushing him. I'd have to say for Andy Tom, but particularly for Tommy Johnson and maybe Darren Jackson, now is a great opportunity to get your goal tally up and really get your confidence sky high. What every forward needs to start a season is goals early on. Tommy Johnson's got one tonight, so is Darren Jackson. But the more the better for you. When you start the season this weekend, you can be red hot and ready to go.
Jackie McNamara lays it back to David Hanna. Hanna trying a right foot drive, blocked. Second chance, plays it across the line of the box. Cleared by Sean Wharton. Referee gets in the way. And Richard David will clear it for Inter CableTel. McNamara to Andreas Tom once again. He'll switch it out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley with a chance now to run at Richard Williams. Tries the cross in there. Marty Ellicott, no problems with the save.
Still defending quite well though. Still get good numbers. Still backtracking the wide players. Williams done well. He's just never gave up. McKinley's tormented him and Andy Tom's tormented him, but he's kept going to his credit. And so have most of the Inter players so far.
Tom, lovely touch there, just creeping away from Tosh McKinley, but he receives the applause of the Celtic fans. Here's Anthony Jenkins. An hour of this match gone, 3-0 to Celtic. Well, we've mentioned the skill, Charlie, of Andreas Tom, and obviously the new signing of Darren Jackson. But without harping on, it's no doubt that they need a creative midfielder to take the place of Paul McStay, because he is a loss, and it looks as if it's a gap in the middle of the park for Celtic.
Well, they're not easy to replace like that, because it's angled passing, it's contained football, and then when you need that little bit of difference, Paul had that, and in the Celtic setup just now, other than Di Canio, who's still away, you know, no one has that inspiration for the team, and until you get that into your team, you know, it's vital. It's the difference between being second and being first, I think, and I think it's vital that you get that in. And if I was Celtic, I would be searching the market right now, and that would be my priority, to go and get a real creative midfield player.
Brian Gibson giving a chance for Neil Davis to set off Anthony Jenkins. Nice play, setting off Simon Donnelly down the right. It's covered by Richard David, plays the ball in. Here's Johnson, lovely flick. There's David Hanna, it's just gone behind him. Jackson looking to set himself up for the shot. And the two players getting in each other's way. And in disgust, Jackson looks at David Hanna. Obviously didn't receive the call early enough, and the chance goes a-begging. Nice play by Anthony Jenkins. The referee will play advantage. Jenkins looks as if he is hurt. Neil Davis comes away with the ball for Inter CableTel. He played inside of Brian Gibson is there. Sean Wharton's in support. Closed down by Darren Jackson. Early ball once again. And Inter getting a little bit of the ball. Richard Williams switching the play, and a nice pass there. Wayne Hewitt. McNamara coming away for Celtic. Donnelly twisting and turning, losing his player. Beautiful ball by Simon Donnelly. Here's Andreas Tom. Tom across the line. There's David Hanna. This could be number 4, and it is. Andreas Tom with beautiful work with Simon Donnelly. And David Hanna makes it Celtic 4, Inter CableTel 0.
Well, it's excellent work from Simon Donnelly. Seems to be in form after Saturday. Great weighted pass, lovely angle, good one from Tom. He sees Johnson at the back post. He's clever enough to just pull it back for Hanna. All you're asking is hit the target. You see Tom, he takes a lovely touch. There's Johnson getting back post. He's clever enough, got the vision. Just keep it in target, and it probably again, he gets a bit of luck with it. But it's a decent finish and a good move.
David Hanna remaining composed in front of goal, placing it through the legs of Marty Ellicott. 4-0 on the night, 7-0 on aggregate. Andreas Tom to David Hanna. Playing it back to Tom. Darren Jackson now for Celtic. Jackie McNamara with a chance to run at Wayne Hewitt. Just hesitating and losing out there, but it breaks to Simon Donnelly. Tries to dummy. Just going through his legs. Interplayer wasn't filled. Brian Gibson taking it out for into CableTel. And here is Anthony Jenkins with a chance to run at Enrico Annoni. He could switch the play. Opts to go inside once again. Tom is the covering player. Good play again by Jenkins there. Richard Williams now for Inter. Nice play inside. Enrico Annoni with the tackle. Andreas Tom with a lovely back flick. And Annoni comes away on the attack for Celtic. Going inside Anthony Jenkins. Annoni could go all the way here. Tackled much to the amusement of the Celtic fans. Enrico Annoni showing all the qualities of a striker for Celtic, but I'm quite sure that he will not solve the problems of Wim Jansen. As the Celtic fans start chanting the Italian's name. Tommy Johnson going to the touchline, crosses it. Marty Ellicott is there. Substitution coming up for Inter CableTel. Brian Gibson going off, and coming on is James Murray. Jamie Murray coming on, signed from Civil Service in the Welsh League 2 years ago, and a chance to play in this fabulous stadium. Annoni casual there with the pass. Jackson to Stubbs. Stubbs out again to Jackie McNamara. Going into the Inter half of Simon Donnelly, trying to link up once again. Here's Donnelly, twisting and turning. It has Darren Jackson in attendance. Donnelly deciding to go alone. Still keeping the ball in play. Wayne Hewitt eventually getting the tackle. Jackson into Tommy Johnson with his back to goal. Johnson playing it to Tosh McKinley. Tom slips away from Jamie Murray, switches it out to Jackie McNamara. McNamara into Jackson. Jackson playing the 1-2 with McNamara. Right foot shot. The tackle from Wayne Hewitt. McNamara thought he was getting a corner. The referee decided otherwise. A goal kick to Inter CableTel. One thing that's evident from this match, Charlie, is the link-up play again with McNamara and Donnelly. Something that was well liked by the Celtic fans in Tommy Burns' reign here.
Yeah, especially 2 seasons ago. I mean, last season there was good signs of it too, but I think 2 seasons ago it was really prominent more than anything. The two of them link up ever so well. Simon, very gifted young lad. Jackie just goes for him. Great space for him, because sometimes he doesn't always give him it, and that means that Simon can go and do his own thing in the ball. So they give each other options and they balance very well. They are a good partnership, and there's been a lot of good things tonight from both of them.
Midway through this second half, Celtic have a 4-goal cushion, 7-0 on aggregate. And clearly Wim Jansen's thoughts will be on Friday's European draw. And the big debate, Charlie, is whether Celtic and teams even like Rangers in the European Champions League should be forced into a preliminary tie against such teams as Inter CableTel, and no discredit to them and what they've achieved in their own league.
Well, I would do away with it, I must admit. I think one prelim game in any competition is more than enough. And no disrespect to Inter, I think it's been tremendous for them to get this lift and play at this stadium. But you know, we're talking about, as you mentioned earlier in this show, they're not even in the quality of Vauxhall Conference in England, and You know, that is pretty low standard. Some of the players have gave everything tonight, and some of them have impressed me, in particular some of the defenders. But you know, we're talking about a different level of professionalism, and I don't think this probably merits being a tie at all.
Just in case anyone may well think that it is a view which is unfair to the Welsh side, even the manager George Wood has questioned whether they should be here playing against Celtic.
Well, that's right, and George played at the highest level, he knows. And I'm sure the guys, when they finally got this draw, they thought to themselves, can't believe this, you know, we've got somebody as big as Celtic, big name in Europe, maybe not as big as what it was, but still a big club. And I just don't agree with it. I think if they're going to do it and these teams are going to be involved, they should be in a smaller pot first, and then if they do manage to get into the next in the series prelim draw, then okay, then we'll let them go. But for me, this is the wrong way to do it.
Nevertheless, they're here and they're enjoying the chance to play at Celtic Park. But for Celtic, all thoughts are towards the Premier League campaign, and more importantly, another European tie in the UEFA Cup, and they'll find out their opponents on Friday afternoon. Here's Tosh McKinley for Celtic. Tommy Johnson trying the head flick. Jamie Murray covering tackle, Enrico Annoni. Headed by Tosh McKinley, just fails, goes over his head. Anthony Jenkins is the man to profit, comes inside McKinley, Jackson's covering. Richard Williams with a chance to start an attack. He might try a shot from here. Williams takes a slight deflection, catches out Gordon Marshall.
Nice to see it. Good play from him. Jenkins has looked lively since he came on. Well, there's one thing in his mind, he wants the shot to go, you just never know. Little deflection, it could easily have crept in.
And that goes down for Richard Williams as the first chance for this Welsh club. Richard Williams previously played with Millwall and certainly more than capable of hitting the net from that range. Corner to into CableTel. Three of their players getting tangled up there. Dean Philpott looking at Richard David. There'll be a throw into Celtic.
I think if it was Wim Jansen now, Peter, I think I would look at bringing on a couple of these kids. With John Paul McBride, for instance, and you know, young Chris Hay, who although has been part of it, but Elliott in particular, and John Paul McBride. It'd be nice to bring them on to a game like this, which they could have the freedom and a little bit of enjoyment that they can go out and just relax and take part in a European tie.
Dean Philpott trying to play that beyond Enrico Annoni. And quite a few of the Inter players are in attack. And a shot from Neil Davis. Neil Davis scored 6 goals last season for Inter CableTel, and just as Charlie was mentioning, it looks as if there is activity on the substitutes bench. Chris Hay taking off the tracksuit top. Well, Chris Hay, Charlie, at 22 years of age, is obviously a man who thinks time is short and he has to try it and establish himself in this Celtic team sooner or later, as Tommy Johnson picks the ball up on the edge of the box. A tackle there coming in from Andy Richard. Yeah. But again, Chris Hay coming on, he's a man who's got to try and establish himself soon.
He's got to. I mean, I think this is probably his biggest season. He's come on and he's been in and out again. Last season he didn't start many games, he came on and got his first few goals, but he's got to contribute a lot more to get a regular spot on this side. And I wouldn't put it past him to come on and score a goal or two.
Darren Jackson for Celtic. Playing it into Stubbs. Hannah to McNamara. Annoni wide right. Wayne Hewitt, the covering player. Nice play by David Hannah. McNamara just cutting inside. Neil Davis losing him with his skill. Plays it back. There's a chance. Tommy Johnson. Great save by Marty Ellicott.
Tremendous play from McNamara. There's the balance. What's your balance? Shake of the hips. Does a positive thing, and then the Andy Tom drag back. Tremendous chance. Hits the target, you can't ask any more.
And it looks as if Tommy Johnson gets his last kick of the ball for Celtic.
Should have scored in his last touch.
Receiving the applause of the Celtic fans. And of course, the critical eye of Charlie Nicholas. But on comes Chris Hay. Simon Donnelly, poor corner, cleared away by Wayne Hewitt. Chris Hay's first touch for Celtic. McNamara, nice chip into Hannah, chesting it down, putting it with the head. Hannah good. Blocked by Sean Wharton. Well, Hannah wasn't claiming for the pass back, but the fans certainly were. .15 remaining in this match. Celtic leading by 4 goals to 0. Andreas Tom to David Hannah. Hannah shaping up, right foot shot, blocked again there by Richard David. Stubbs switching it nicely out to Tosh McKinley. McKinley. Andreas Tom. McNamara having to check back. Still manages to dig the cross out, cleared away. It's McNamara again. Nice play by Jackie McNamara. Trying to get the cross in this time. There goes Chris Hay. Just cleared away from the tip of his head there. And Richard Williams clearing away the danger. Celtic with the pressure. Chris Hay almost getting his name on the score sheet. Following the script according to Charlie Nicholas. And here he is again. Chris Hay inside the box. Tackled by Jamie Murray. Murray plays a nice ball out to Anthony Jenkins. McNamara 1-2 with Donnelly, and then David Hannah picks things up for Celtic. Chris Hay on the right. Simon Donnelly's continued his run inside the box. Here's Chris Hay trying to go all the way on his own. Just meets a brick wall in the form of Andy Rickard.
He's been excellent. Got to say, I think Rickard is... I think quite a few of them have played really well, but I thought Rickard throughout this game has been solid. Whenever he's needed a little aggression, he's applied it. I'm very impressed by him.
Well, he's formed a good central defensive partnership with Dean Philpott. And it's no discredit that they've lost 4 goals here this evening. Most of the possession going Celtic's way. Nice play by Neil Davis out of defence to Wayne Hewitt. Andreas Tom. Playing it across to Enrico Annoni. Annoni once again going inside the box. Inter-CableTel players have to be very wary of pulling him down. Here's Annoni on the edge of the box. He has Jackie McNamara in support. And Enrico Annoni.
I'm just wearing Billy Smart turning up. I've never seen Annoni having the ball at his feet so often.
Darren Jackson for Celtic. Jackson playing it to Simon Donnelly. Nice play. Here's Chris Hay, a chance to shoot. And just delays it too long. And once again, Andy Rickard is there.
Yeah, that's a call. He delayed it. He didn't have to take a touch. Donnelly done all the work from him. The supply and the angle of the pass was excellent. He should have took it in his stride.
Simon Donnelly with the corner for Celtic. Darren Jackson is up there. Just a glance there. Rickard with the clearance. Hewitt. Long, aimless ball by Tosh McKinley. Well, the referee is blowing for a free kick to Celtic.
Yeah, I think what he's done is he's touched the ball on the floor, and then you're not allowed to pick it up.
Quick free kick. Here's Alan Stubbs. Right foot, just placing it over the top of the bar. Celtic opting for the quick free kick there. Well, the referee catching Marty Ellicott by surprise there. It looks as if he did pick the ball up. And in fact, we've moved right to the free kick itself.
It's taken very quickly from Celtic. It's Tosh McKinley to Alan Stubbs. Just got under it a little bit. It's time to bring on the kids.
Here comes Richard Williams for CableTel, putting that ball nicely into Neil Davis. It breaks out, and again Celtic having to scurry back. Wayne Hewitt puts the ball into the box. Enrico Annoni is there with a diving header, and Jackson is breaking out. Dean Philpott with the tackle. Hanna, poor ball there. Tosh McKinley to Andreas Tom. Looks as if Kevin Richards will be coming on for CableTel. Another substitution. George Wood trying to give as many players as possible the chance to play for the team tonight. And John Paul McBride is stripped and ready for action for Celtic. Meanwhile, Jackie McNamara sharing a joke with the referee. Richard Williams will be the player coming off. And Richard Williams, Charlie, has had a good match. He's had a difficult job trying to curtail the runs of Tosh McKinley.
Stuck to his task. Andy Tom also, and it's merited by a tremendous response from the Celtic supporters.
Kevin Richards coming onto the park, bringing back memories of Jim McInally's hairstyle for Dundee United in the early 80s. And loud cheers as David Hanna comes off, and the Celtic supports chance to look at John Paul McBride.
Yeah, good little player, John Paul. Tidy player, nice passing movements. Would have brought him on a lot earlier though.
Tosh McKinley with the long ball, looking for Simon Donnelly. Cleared away by Wayne Hewitt. Breaks to Jackie McNamara. Jackson looking for the quick 1-2. Breaks down with Sean Wharton. John Paul McBride getting his first touch for Celtic. Looking for some support. Jackson plays it to Tom. McBride switching the play to Jackie McNamara. McKinley coming inside, nice little ball, lovely chase down by Chris Hay, looking for the 1-2. Good tackle by Richard David and Marty Ellicott.
Yeah, it's good play again, good link-up work. Nicely weighted pass from McKinley. Good understanding from Donnelly and Hay through the ranks together. Ellicott's on this, very sharp. Done very well tonight again.
McNamara once again to Donnelly. Donnelly trying to cut inside. Didn't get away from Rickard that time. Neil Davis. Simon Donnelly to John Paul McBride. Tosh McKinley just a little short there. McKinley to Andres Tom. Tom, left foot cross. Jackson's there, cleared out to... There it is. Chris Hay makes it number 5, and Charlie Nicholas, almost as if in prophet mode, predicts that he would score, and he supplies the goal to make it Celtic 5, Inter CableTel 0.
Well, they call him Postman Pat because he's a lookalike. He's a kid, decent control, loves to score goals, always there in the thick of the action. Not always got the best technique in the world. It's tired Inter defence. It breaks to him, first touch is decent. Don't worry about it, just pick out the net. Good finish from Chris.
Scoreline academic at this stage, but as Charlie says, many of the Celtic strikers will be looking to get their eye in for goal. Nice 1-2 again from Donnelly and McNamara. Wayne Hewitt and Neil Davis, the clearing player for Inter CableTel, into the last 5 minutes of this match. 5 goals on the night and 8 on aggregate for a crowd of just over 41,000 have watched this match. 31,000 in fact have watched this match this evening. Here's Simon Donnelly for Celtic. John Paul McBride out to Andres Tom, maybe a chance for a crack at goal. Going past Dean Philpott, forced wide by Neil Davis. And then guiding McNamara out in the right, good crossover there. Andy Rickard with a clearance. Jackson, first touch is good to John Paul McBride. McBride trying to steer that one away from Anthony Jenkins. Jamie Murray's the breaking player for Inter CableTel.
A tired bunch now, Inter. Full credit to them, they've dug in. Gave it everything they've had. Always lacked a little bit of getting it going up front because of lack of quality on the ball, but they've gave it everything they had, and full credit to them.
McNamara, Jackson on the overlap. McNamara finds Jackson. Inside is Chris Hay once again at the back post. Andy Rickard with a clearing header. Donnelly waiting just in case there was any slip up, but Andy Rickard was there to concede the corner to Celtic.
This is where the fitness tells. Good run from Darren Jackson. Plays in a good area, but good defending again from Rickard.
Donnelly out to Andres Tom. Tom, right foot drive. Oh, took a deflection there. The referee was saying that that is a goal kick, but Andres Tom trying to add to his tally this evening.
Yeah, you just wonder when one of these are going to go in from. He's had a few tonight. Nice touch. There you see the technique. Body over the ball. Just a little. Came across it just a little, which raised the height on it. He's been pretty classy tonight, Andy Tom.
Chris Hay chasing Andy Rickard, covering. He losing his footing. Trying for the nutmeg. But on this occasion, Rickard coming off the better. Into the last few minutes of this match, and Charlie, a professional performance, yep, and exactly what the manager was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, there's things to improve with this team, there's no doubt about that. Initially, you've got to get the job done first. They've done that, and we compliment them for that. But, you know, it's got to improve. I think it will improve, but they need the new players and fresh faces to do that. But more, they've got to pass better and better movement at times. But credit to Inter. All I can say is credit to them. They've had a bit of a hammering in scoreline, but you know, they've stuck to their task. For the level that they play, they've done excellent, and a lot of them can go home pretty proud players.
Will Wim Jansen have learned anything from this episode tonight?
I don't think a great deal, to be honest. I think it's been so easy and so open for them at times. What he's maybe found is that the creative side, it's mainly been Andy Tom tonight, and at times Simon Donnelly, McNamara. You know, the wider positions are the most productive places for Celtic, because Paul McStay's missing in the central area now. So I think it's important he focuses there and doesn't always forget about the kind of cavalier approach of Celtic's fullbacks and wide players.
Well, there has to be something positive that's come out of this match for George Wood, and mainly it's the gate receipts which will ensure that the youth system at Inter CableTel is secure for the next 3 years.
Yeah, not just that. I would have to say George's team tonight have really proved to be a team. They've worked tremendously hard for each other. That's a great sign of a team unit, and the spirit must be very high after this, no matter what the score ends up. So full credit to them, and I think George will be delighted with his team.
Inter CableTel can head back to Cardiff with their heads held high. They finished second in the Welsh League last season to Barry Town, and have certainly been a credit to the Welsh League. And the referee brings this 90 minutes to an end. A professional performance by Celtic this evening. Andreas Tom set them on the way in the 18th minute from the penalty spot. Darren Jackson got his first goal on the European scene with a clinical header on 41. Just on the stroke of half-time, Tommy Johnson from the head once again gave Celtic a 3-0 half-time lead and 6-0 on aggregate. And really at that stage it was all about a damage limitation for Inter CableTel. David Hanna looked composed and calm as he slotted away number 4 in 62 minutes. And then 6 minutes from the end, the substitution, Chris Hay, came onto the park. His first touch was good, his second touch was clinical, giving Celtic a 5-0 victory on the night, 8-0 on aggregate.